Hello again. It really feels like all the information is coming at once. Almost like buses, we've been waiting months, if not years, for some information about Codemasters WRC game to turn up, and now it all appears at once. Thanks for returning to the channel, and if you are a new viewer, I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button so my videos get seen by more people. I'm going to be briefly discussing new features that we know about the game, and also hopefully pull out a few juicy bits you might have missed and that haven't been noticed or talked about elsewhere. I'm going to skip over some areas that I don't think it's necessary for me to expand on, and will probably be spoken about a lot on other channels anyway. I'll stick to my opinions on the good and bad and try to shed some new light on the features that we've seen. Firstly, we get a good look at career mode, and there's a few bits I love about it and some that I don't, but let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start with something that I don't like, or need to know more about at least. We are told by the narrator Molly Pettit that at the start of career mode you form your own team. Now, making my own team is definitely something that I want to do at some point, however it's not the path I want to take first off. I prefer on my first playthrough at least to rise through the ranks, earning drives with teams and eventually earning the right to a full-time drive with one of the Rally 1 WRC outfits. I'd like to have to win the Junior World Rally Championship, if I chose to start in the juniors, and through winning that title, earn a Rally 2 drive, just like in real life, and then maybe securing a part-time 6 or 7 round drive with one of the Rally 1 teams before securing a permanent, full-time role and launching my title bid. Now, I don't know if starting your own team is compulsory, but it seems like it might be, which, don't get me wrong, it's great. I just feel we are missing out potentially on that real life experience of earning drives and, more importantly, full-time seats within the top teams. But anyway, now on to some of the good and exciting things regarding career mode, and the first thing that jumps out without having to dive too deep is that we will be able to simultaneously participate in multiple championships during the same season. So we'll be participating in the main championship, i.e. WRC 1, 2 or juniors, but between events we can be participating in smaller championships with other classes of cars like historics, etc., or using the same vehicle for another championship, which you can build your experience on multiple surfaces before your next WRC rounds. A little bit like Adrian Formeau this year, who alongside his WRC 2 campaign has also been participating in the British Rally Championship between events. This is to increase seat time, and that's something that immediately jumped out to me as an exciting feature. This also ties into the budget, where in this screenshot we see your requirements for the season or for this contract period are to finish 5th or higher in the JWRC. Score 55 points in the H2 front wheel drive category of the front wheel drive extreme trophy, which also takes me slightly off message, but something you may have missed. Some of these championships that you can take part in are multi-class. As we can see here in this front wheel drive extreme trophy, you can use any front wheel drive from the Rally 4, F2, H2 and Super 1600 categories. This means that the framework exists, at least, to support multi-class tournaments, meaning we should, in theory, be able to run multi-class championships in multiplayer online. Not confirmed, but we should be able to, given the structure appears to exist. Further down that previous screen we see that we have a minor target to achieve, being that we should complete 3 out of 5 hospitality events during the season. Hospitality events appear to be single event invitationals in which, as opposed to you having to buy a car in order to participate, you will be provided with a car by the manufacturer or sponsor hosting the event, which is a great way to sort of try before you buy on some cars you wouldn't necessarily have driven without the prompt. All of these events contribute to you achieving benefactor objectives and receiving additional budget, which in turn can be spent on new cars, better crew members, etc. And speaking of crew members, we can also see that you can hire a teammate. So you'll be able to run a multi-car team. Now, whether that is restricted to 2 cars or whether you can run a mighty 4-car outfit remains to be seen, but it's an enticing prospect. Now, rumours suggest that Codemasters EA are looking to incorporate real-world young drivers in the future for you to recruit and drag through the ranks. But for now, at least, the drivers you can hire remain fictional, so I guess I can't carry John Armstrong to the top with me. Another thing that I didn't like then was the career calendar itself. I worry that it looks a little intimidating, cluttered even, having this sort of impenetrable looking Rolodex of event cards. I prefer an older school, simple, whole month calendar view, or even a similar rolling schedule as the F1 games have. Like, I'm sure I'll get used to the colour-coded bunch of event cards in time, but as I take a look at it with those first-time eyes, it feels a little too busy for me. Anyway, that's it really for my thoughts on the career mode so far. Let me know what you think down in the comments. On to the builder mode then, and we start by looking at the options that we can select when you're building your Rally 3, 2 or 1 rides. And the most interesting thing about this is that we can select engine orientation, which is amazing. We can have a rear-engined WRC car and enjoy all the wonderful oversteery benefits that would offer. Selecting where you put your engine should dramatically alter the entire handling characteristics of your vehicle. I only wish Build a Car was more expansive in that we could also create front or rear wheel drive cars. I think that would make for a fantastic playground for budding automotive engineers or just masochists like myself who would like to create borderline undrivable machines. I do like that you can select the engine and other components that you put in your car, but again I'd like to see more expansive mode where we could select engine capacity outside of the official series with their restrictions. Slam a V8 in the back instead of a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder and wrestle your way to the top of open class leaderboards. I think the mode would take on a life of its own were that the case, with people devoting serious hours towards their perfect builds. I also think with the current engine selection it may become a pointless task when selecting the engine manufacturer, etc. if there is one clear best version. For example, the only metrics for engine are quality and condition. I wish there was some sort of performance compromises to be made, like top speed versus acceleration or ideal rev band for optimal power when upshifting changes, based on engine choices. I know there are restrictions in engine choice in the real world in order to conform to regulations, but once you have a load of money in game, these choices become joyless if there is a clear best worst option. I know some sections like differentials have additional metrics for tuning ability, but this seems to be a simple money barrier too, which once overcome, again becomes largely pointless as you can just select the best quality, most adjustable version. Maybe having weight as a factor for all of the components to balance engine with other parts. If the components had all had their own weight compromises or benefits, it would make for more of an interesting puzzle in creating a competitive car. The appearance of your car is also adjustable with, at time of this video being recorded, involves 5 options for front and rear body shell respectively. I hope we get more options down the line too, and I'd also like to see performance changes based on body styling, particularly in Rally 1, with better aero performance coming with certain compromises elsewhere. I really do like the interior options. Selecting everything from seats to digital display makes for some fantastic customization potential, which really gets my imagination fired up. And I just think we are at the start of what Codemasters EA have introduced here. It's a start, an enticing opening chapter in what I hope one day could be a genre-defining feature. If Builder opens up in future iterations to allow for potentially endless engine, drivetrain and cosmetic choices, we could end up with something really, really special. And you know, we already have to tip our hats to the developers for the ambition being shown in this initial offering. What do you guys think of the builder mode currently and its potential going forward? Let me know in the comments while you're hitting that subscribe button. I'm now going to quickly talk about Regularity Rally and why it's a good thing. I know some have talked about it being a weird addition, like why would you deliberately want to slow down to make a checkpoint? But there's a really good side to the addition too. Not only is it shedding light on an aspect of real-world rallying that doesn't get much love or light, but also it's a superb mode for driving those cars you find a little difficult. Trying to drive a rear-wheel drive Group B monster around icy Monte Carlo may feel impossible, but given some slack on the leash in the form of just maintaining an average time or speed, and you start to find it a more manageable beast, and through that become a better driver. It's win-win, right? I'm not going to go into moments or rally school in this video really, but just an interesting thing I noticed in the school is that you can do any of the lessons on any surface, dirt, tar or snow. And I assume it's the same road layout as you see a little map on the screen beforehand. Does this hint at a potential free roam area which can be run in any season for testing, etc.? Or is this just a limited bit of road for use in the rally school only? I'll try and find out and let you know when I do. A couple of other things I noticed. Firstly, it appears we can select our speedo cluster, as in this image we have a different HUD than we saw in the previous video with the Rally ones, so maybe customization extends to our on-screen displays too, which is a very nice touch. Secondly was that in this championship screen we can finally scale and fine-tune the AI difficulty. Rather than, as with Dirt Rally 2, you would start on a very easy tier and end up at a level where you just couldn't compete, now it seems you can select the difficulty on a scale from 1 to 100 or 1 to 120 or whatever. And another thing is that in the custom event select screen, you can choose the season of the country you want to participate in. But on time trial, that option does not appear to be available. Does that mean no TT leaderboards for adjusted seasons, or are we just looking at different builds? I guess we'll find out down the line, and I'll be asking the questions to those in the know, hopeful of gaining a little more information as I do. Well, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to speaking to you all in the comments. See you later.